Shout out to each and every one of you guys. Shout out to the Most High, of course, always and every time. Harry Simon. We're going to talk about boxers, of course, not much talked about today. Harry Simon is an interesting boxer. Harry Simon has been boxing up to recently, and he's 44, almost 45 years old. Okay? And the thing about this guy, he's not a cruiserweight, by the way. Okay? This guy fought some notable names in his career. Not a whole lot of names you and I know, but he's fought some notable names in his career to be undefeated this far in his career. And he started back in 1994, by the way. All right? He's from Namibia, and they say that he was one of the most avoided boxers. I don't know how true that is, but anyway. He has a notable win against Winky Ronald White to win the WBO Super Welterweight title. Okay, this was back in 1998. He then went on to defend that title a number of times. Okay, against names I don't really know, to be honest with you. But he fought most of his fights away from his homeland in England and in Canada. All right. The other notable name he got a win over was when he moved up to middleweight. He faced Hassan Cherifi, and he was once a former champion, world champion as well. And he beat him, and then he held the middleweight title for one more fight, and then after that, he moved up to light heavyweight. Okay, and he never really won a full-fledged light heavyweight title. He won the international light heavyweight title, but that was in 2013. He had been fighting on and off. He hasn't been fighting continuously. It seems like he retired, came back, retired, came back. In 2018, he had another fight. So the interesting thing about this guy, nobody really talks about him, but he's like a fossil right now. He's been fighting for several years. Of course, it's been on and off fighting, so it's not like he's been fighting consistently all the time. But nonetheless, he's like a fossil, and he's old dude. He's an old dude in the sport of boxing, and still undefeated, which is interesting. It could be that he was picking his fights. It could be that he was just a guy who was injured in between fights. I don't know what it was, but he's somebody that kind of slips the radar, and everybody doesn't really talk much about this guy or has never even mentioned him a lot. But he's got some notable wins against Winky Wright and also Hassan Cherifi. So I thought that I would mention this guy, and boxers not talked about much. He's all the way in Namibia too, so it could be that he's just so out of the way, nobody's actually picked him up on their radar. All right, guys, you have a good one.